that's quite a few. Without being to it big time.
No.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Huh?
You heard that Michael had. Mark.
No. He may be asleep.
I didn't know he's asleep.
Well, he works at night.
Oh, maybe.
Doesn't he? Does he still do that? Yeah.
Well, he could be.
Heard something.
It's about time for him to go to work. He works at night.
He works the late shift.
Oh, well, maybe he works late. I've seen him at Walmart. That's where he works, I think.
No, this won't take long.
Well, we'll go ahead and get part of this out of the way. Maybe, I mean, I've got 4:45. We'll call budget and finance to order. Everybody can review your minutes there, and you should have them emailed to you too. If needs to be any additions or corrections. If not, I'll accept the motion to approve and dispense the reading of the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
All right, got a motion by Carl and a second by Ken. If there's no other discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0. I need a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
All right, got a motion by Diane. Do I hear a second? A second by Carl. We need to amend the agenda for a recycling grant for the sanitation department. Can I hear a motion to do that?
Do we do that or do we vote on the same one?
No.
You got to amend it.
Got it.
We got to
Oh, we gotta
amend it
amend it
first.
first? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll make that motion.
All right, got it. I'll second that. And we got a second by Ken. If there's no other discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes 4-0. Now we're back to approving our agenda as it was amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes 4-0. And we'll move right into the clean energy grant. And I guess Carl and Herschel knows more about this than anything, so we'll let them explain it to us.
That's one for the roofing up there. What that is, Carl, you know, we talked about today, that item 3, we've applied for that energy grant up there at the courthouse, and it'll be for the roof on the flat part and some LED lighting if we can get it inside the courthouse.
Right.
And what this is a 50-50, we pay 50 and we'll get, say if it runs $100,000, it'll cost us $50,000, Brandon pay 50. Which it's an item that, like you and I talked today, it's 20 years old, and it's gonna have to be done this year, next year, so.
That's right.
It'd be a good deal if we can get it.
I hear a motion we approve. I'll make that motion. Got a motion by Ken, got a second by Diane. Is there any discussion? Because this is something we got to do anyway. If we can get the money, it'll really help out.
And it did go through financial management as well.
Yeah, it just went through financial management. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, pass 4-0.
Has the grant already been?
No.
We're just filling, that just gives him the authority to fill out for it, to
Okay.
start the
To
grant.
start
He
it,
does have the
okay.
authority. All right, we'll move on to number 4, which is a community block grant for a ambulance and fire station at the airport. And Centertown is actually, he's going through the town of Centertown to apply for it.
And that is a 3%, that will be, that's total. Total.
3% air match
Yeah.
out of 315,000.
Close to $10,000 our part there if they get it.
Yeah.
For us to have a ambulance station and
This, you say this is one up to the airport?
Yeah.
yes,
You know where the little block building is, where they store their.
they're looking at expanding
Yeah.
it and taking it into the building. Do I hear a motion we approve? I'll make that motion too. Ken, make that motion. Got a second from Carl. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll vote then. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes 4-0. Now we're down to where we amended our agenda for the recycling equipment, and I'll let Linda speak on that.
Okay, this is a recycling equipment grant for the sanitation department. We applied for it. We were awarded it. Charlie does most of these grant applications, and he does a really good job. I think it's the second year in a row we've got it. So this grant amount is $16,006, of which the county has to pay $6,860. And Steve already has that amount in his budget, which was approved during budget time. Just wanted to bring it before the committee and let you all know about it.
I hear a motion to approve the,
I'll make that motion to approve it.
got a motion by Diane, do I hear a second?
Yes.
Got a second by Carl, any discussion?
I will say this is for some
It's got this
recycling
on the back
containers.
page there, what it is, it's a roll-off,
Roll-off containers.
yes.
235 yard and 230 yard.
See if they have any questions? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, passes 4-0. All right, now we're down to the budget transfers. Well, I think we need to talk to them and let them see what they want to do. So I guess we'll have to explain. What we've got here is we've got a transfer from the airport, wanting to transfer $50,000 from their gas fund. They're wanting to build a maintenance shed out there. But I'm gonna pass this around and give everybody a minute to look at it. This is the bids that come in.
Brindley's low bidder,
Yeah.
174 or whatever.
And they've only got 83,000 in a designated fund that they have to spend on the property.
Should be that plus the 50, is that what you're saying?
And then they want to spend the 40 max that we give them for some other projects that ain't come up yet. But Linda thinks they may come up before the budget year's out.
Or soon thereafter.
Yeah. That may be something else. I may hand you 2 sheets again. Yeah, that's something else. I just wanted. What they,
And the thing that's scary on that is you see down at the bottom about the dirt, $29, you don't know if you're gonna hit bad soil. That's just $29 a yard for us taking it out, and putting it back in, so you don't know it, I mean, it might not hit you, but
It may be no cubic yards, it may be,
it could be 1,000, could be,
and he's using basically every penny he's got.
yeah. And that's money that,
Yeah,
he wants the 300,000 back in his budget next year to buy
fuel.
fuel. And then if we take that 42, then these big first projects come through, we gotta put that.
We gotta
back
come
in.
back with another 40. We'll have to come back with that 40.
and it was postponed by financial management.
They told budget finance okay for the money.
Has anybody been out there? How bad does he need a maintenance shed? Is he in dire need of it, or?
Well, he said he needed to put his equipment in there, so I don't know. He's got it in some, his equipment like tractors, mowers, et cetera, and those hangers he's needing to, rent those
Take them
hangers.
off.
Yeah. I think he's got all his hangers rented, probably got 2 of them, I don't know how many,
Be a big old building, no way.
50 by 100 is.
Good size building.
Michael, question?
How are they doing as far as I know they're budgeted like to sell gasoline. How is that going? Like, how far off, or are they on budget to sell what they,
Well, right now, their expenditures are at $18,000.
okay.
Their revenues are at $42,000.
Okay, now, in the budget, is it somewhere around like, what did they project
for
in
sales.
fuel sales, like 250, 300? Okay,
250.
and they've sold 42? Okay. How many months we got left in the fiscal year?
We've got, actually, we've not got the revenues from the trustee these off the ship for even December.
Okay,
So that's through November.
okay. That's my question.
They usually hit it pretty close though, don't they?
Well, I mean, normally their expenditures are relative to their sales, okay? So their sales are gonna be a little bit more than their expenditures are, just because of the increased costs for their fuel that they sell it for. And it just depends on the traffic out there, you know, how much they have coming in. Now, he did indicate to me that normally springtime is his busy time.
Yeah.
I'd say it fuel's down, just like gasoline is too. I'd say it's cheaper.
You know, real quick,
It's probably dropped 50 cents a gallon in the last few months.
I got a question, Terry, mostly it's aimed at you, because it hasn't been that long since you put up a building. Does that sound like a reasonable price for that size of building?
Well, for a contractor, when you get into probably it's pretty close. I just don't know, the county's got a lot of things facing them. And for us to let him pull the 40 that we give him for the other projects and then let him pull the 50 out of his fuel, you're talking about pulling $90,000 out there. And we've just got things just piling up. I guess you just might as well tell them, Linda, about the
Well,
juveniles.
I had a call this morning from the juvenile court officer, Barry Dishman, and you all know that there was the murder that took place Tuesday. 4 of those are juveniles. We have to pay to house those juveniles.
$175 a day.
$175 a day each at Rutherford County Juvenile Detention Center. So those 4 juveniles are turning 18 at different points within, one of them won't turn 18 until August, I think he told me. One will turn 18 in February, one in May, and one in June. But from now to the end of the fiscal year, we're probably looking at $80,000 we're going to have to come up with. We have $37,000 in there right now left. This is in addition to the ones that we're normally housing, you know, juveniles that come up that have to go to juvenile detention. So, I mean, we're looking at a pretty big hit right there.
I mean, we'll probably have some more juveniles we'll have to
Mhm.
send up just in the next 6 months. It's gonna come out.
Well, you normally do, but I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so-
not the end.
That's the reason you got 50 in there. It probably takes close to that to house them all. I mean, it'll be more than 80.
80 is just for those that we've estimated, just for those 4.
So at the end of that period, when they turn 18, then they're turned over to the local jail, whatever.
They come back to our jail.
Adult jail.
Yeah, they're turned over.
So that's something we'll be looking at within the next month or 2, possible sources of revenue to increase that line.
What are the possible sources of revenue?
Well, I mean, if we have some revenue accounts that are more than what we budgeted, or if we have some expenditures that we see that are not probably going to hit what was budgeted.
Well,
This might have to wait a while, sounds to me like, since all that other happened.
I know we've got a good airport, and I want to see it do good, because the airport means a lot to a community, that's for sure. And, but with what we've got coming up, the things that I know about that, and I'm sure there's more, you know, the jail situation, the courthouse has got to have some work done on it, different things. If we don't get that block grant, that grant that we get, it's not going to cover all the costs.
No.
It ain't going to cover it all. But with what we've got facing us, I think we need to look at this real hard. Sure do.
What do you think, Ken?
I think we need to postpone it right now, don't you?
I think we need to send it back and let them, if they come up with something within their guidelines,
80,000.
within their guidelines.
I don't think we need to spend that money, they don't need to spend it.
You know, 'cause, I don't know if we can replace it, this is
That's
trouble.
it. Because it'll come back to budget and finance again.
Yeah, it'll come back, if they get approved for some of these projects that they was gonna pull this 40,000, they'll come right back to telling you they got a grant, you've got to match this amount or you lose the grant. What's your feeling, Diane?
Well, wait.
It's tough, shit, everything's tough right now.
So, how do we need to handle that? Just,
Withdraw it at
Yeah,
this
just
point.
withdraw it.
or you just want to send it back to them, send it budget finance?
Just get you a vote on it if you want, just send it back.
That they can live within their 80.
Probably I'd just probably it off.
Postpone it or?
Yeah, I'd just probably withdraw it tonight.
Just withdraw it. Do I hear a motion, we withdraw it tonight?
Yep.
Got what, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I wish we could do it, but we've got to draw that line somewhere.
Well, it'll come back to haunt us, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Is what the trouble is. So,
Maybe by folks putting it off, they may find them another grant somewhere to help pay for it.
Or they may have to cut their building down to see what, this 83 they've got now, correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, they have to spend it on grounds, right?
It is required to be spent on airport projects
Yeah.
because it was from a grant that was received at some point, and who knows when, that was purchased with federal money, property that was purchased with federal money. So when that land was sold, that money had, by the federal government, that has to be earmarked for airport projects.
So they've got that if they could build a smaller building, so maybe they could.
80,000.
80, it's 80.
83 and some odd.
Something they could build on to later, maybe.
Yeah, or something like that. Does anybody else have any more business needs to come for budget line?
There is a budget amendment.
That's right, I did the big ones. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. This is a budget amendment. There's a letter attached. We received it yesterday. We hold money in reserve for the Children's Advocacy Center. This is revenue derived from fines that goes through the court, designated specifically for them. We hold it in reserve for them. Their reserve is at I think it was at about $73,000, and they have requested a drawdown of those funds of $40,000. It is their money.
And we can't do nothing else with it anyway.
We can't do anything else with it. That's
We just
it.
hold it for them.
Yeah. And this will not, because our docket is already going out for January, it won't come before the county court until February. But
And it will have to be voted on by the full court.
it will be, have to be voted on by the full court.
Budget finance and vote on it
Yes,
tonight?
yes, we need to
I'll
approve
make
it
a
and get it on
motion.
the docket.
I'll make a motion to put it on February
I'll
docket.
second it.
Got a motion by Diane, a second by Ken, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes 4-0. Damn,
I don't have anything.
You know.
I've given y'all all the good news I have today.
yeah, it's like we got plenty. I'll make a motion, we adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye. Passes 4-0.
Y'all be here at 5 o'clock.